Welcome, everyone, to the 32nd episode of Conversations with T. This is T speaking, and I'm here with Sanaa from Morocco. She's a virtual assistant for Muslim women who are active in the coaching field. Her job is to help them upgrade their brand foundation so that their sales become better than before. She's also the founder of the Muslim Lounge newsletter, in which she shares valuable tips, resources, and behind the scenes stories about branding with her subscribers. I'm so excited to have her on my podcast, and thank you for joining me today, Sana. How have you been?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so looking forward to be a part of this podcast. I've been really well. Thank you so much for asking. And yeah, thank you so much for everyone for listening.
No problem, no problem. So for today's,
Yeah.
I want to have a discussion with you about the topic of being a goal-oriented individual. Now, before we
Mhm.
dive deeper into the topic, do you want to share a personal story about how you yourself became the person you are today? Would you say that you were always someone who was goal-oriented, or was this something that developed over time?
Yeah, so I definitely struggled like with this, like being honest. I definitely struggled with setting goals for myself, setting a direction where I want to go. And kind of like this struggle led me where I am today, like because of just like to keep this story short, like because I didn't know what to do in my life, I kind of like ended up being a virtual assistant, which ended up being my goal and what was meant for me. So like this is especially like kind of like a deep topic for me personally because I kind of like test it firsthand. So yeah, I'm so looking forward to get started and delve deeper.
Oh, thank you for sharing that with me and the listeners.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
just out of curiosity, before
Hmm.
you wanted to become a virtual assistant, was there
Hmm.
something else that you wanted to become, or was that the only goal? Was that the main thing you wanted to be?
Yeah, so actually, like, no, like I had nothing in mind. Like, I kind of like struggled with setting goals or kind of like building a vision for myself or kind of like setting plans and what I wanted to do since I was a little kid. Like, everyone was kind of like playing pretend to be and wanting to do something, wanting to become something. But I really struggled with that. I would always play myself because I didn't know what I want to do next year. I didn't know what to do when I grow up, when I get to high school. And that kind of like become more and more intense when I entered college because with where I live, like there we don't have much options in terms of the majors that you want to take, in terms of the jobs that you will be like be open to, if that makes sense. So I had limited option, and that kind of like prevented me from really dreaming about what I want to be and really setting kind of like realistic goals because I didn't want to do that and kind of like try to kind of like build a good life for myself and kind of like try to see where I want to go, what I want to study, where I didn't want to kind of like be disappointed if I don't get to this specific domain or industry. So I always kept it kind of like um, realistic, and that kind of like was a part of me not having a real goal because I didn't want to kind of like be disappointed and pick something and work for it and it won't work in the end, if that makes sense. So um like and that like led me then to kind of like just like scratching everything, like no, this is not what I want to do. Like I don't want to kind of like settle for a like simple life and just like go and kind of like work a simple job because that's what is available for me. Like I wanted to do something big, so that's why like I tried to kind of like think outside of the box, and that what led me again to kind of like start my online business and become a virtual assistant.
That's so amazing. Thank you once again with us. And I feel so we live in a day and age where
Mhm.
being lazy is something that's celebrated and praised.
Mhm.
People who either do nothing or they just waste their time doing things that won't benefit them, such as playing video games for hours, they seem to be normal and cool. Whereas if you have someone who wants to do things differently and is very disciplined and actually puts in the effort to achieve XYZ, then
Mhm.
they're seen as being extreme or crazy. Do you agree or
Mhm.
disagree? What are your thoughts on this?
Um, as someone who is really guilty of procrastination and laziness in general, like I always kind of like thought about it, like not overwhelming myself, not doing this, and because people didn't kind of like how to explain it, like I don't have the exact word, but because people didn't um, give me a second to think of the word. um, I don't know like how to explain it. Sorry. A little pause here. Like I really lost the the word. Um, okay, okay, I got it. So yeah, because like I kind of like I'm still like very guilty of it, and like I've been kind of like procrastinating again like since I was a little kid and trying to kind of like find reasons why I shouldn't do this, why I shouldn't do that, and people didn't complain about it. Like they didn't kind of like push me to do this. Like no, you have to study harder. No, you have to pick a kind of like a major that you want to kind of like study in and kind of like work in. I kind of like started to believe that procrastination is okay, is a part of like a way to a part kind of like a self-care thing. Like you can't kind of like overwhelm yourself. If you don't want to do this, you don't have to do it. Like you kind of like pick what you want to do when you want to do it. And I think that's something that is really 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 misunderstood, because before you need motivation, you need discipline. Like I always kind of like say that to myself. Like motivation may be something that you kind of like need to force yourself to have, but discipline is something that is kind of like learned.
Mm,
And it's kind of like something that kind of like some people are born with it. So I think like people need to, like just like parents or anyone, like they need to kind of like raise someone to kind of like be disciplined from a young age,
yeah.
so it will kind of like be a part of their identity and who they are.
I
So yeah, yeah, like it was something that I really struggled with, and I never kind of like saw the value of, again, like discipline and kind of like just like aiming for what you want. I really have that desire to get things done.
mm,
So yeah, like I like this is something that is really should be talked about more.
yeah. And some people they have these big dreams and ambitions, but
Mhm,
they're doing the right things, but they get dismissed or mocked, or other people shame them. I feel as though this is a
mhm,
case with women.
mhm.
They want to, for example, get a degree, they get told things such as men don't like smart women, or they become
Yes.
low value in inverted commas when it comes to marriage. I just find it really unfair
Mhm,
that when a man has goals that he wants to accomplish, he's praised and supported by
mhm,
other people. But if a woman wants to do the same thing, she gets put down and she's thrown labels such as feminist or better.
mhm,
Really do, yeah, I really don't like how some people they reduce women to being doormats or brain machines, and they just dismiss the fact that
mhm,
they're also human beings who
mhm,
have their own personalities and likes and interests. What do you
mhm.
have to say about that?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I kind of I've seen that so many times. Like I've seen a lot of people kind of like a lot of women struggle to kind of like really go or really do what they want to do because they were afraid of the judgment. They were afraid of being, again, like as you said, being seen as kind of like feminist, which is sometimes like in an Islamic context, it's kind of like understood differently. But and like where I like here in Morocco, like um women now, like just like girls and women, wives, daughters, sisters, like they all want to get a job to support their family or kind of like be kind of like financially independent, just like a part of it. And they aren't able to do that. They aren't able to kind of like get a job because um, they know that kind of like the market that they want to go to, they pay women lower rates because they kind of like they had that idea or that concept that women should be paid less because like they shouldn't be working. So like let's kind of like force them to just like do the work for a lower rate, so they will kind of like just like quit and just like go back to the kitchen and do like raise their kids and do what they've been doing for centuries, if that makes sense. And like being in kind of like online communities and kind of like seeing women talk about this is really kind of like heartbreaking, because they all share about like the dreams they have, and sometimes like women are more kind of like they tend to be more dreamy, like they tend to kind of like have exactly the vision that they want to get. Like they want to be moms, they want to be wives, they want to take care of their home and their children, but at the same time like they are still human beings, like they still have goals, they still have dreams that they've been thinking about or dreaming about since they were little girls. So I feel like they aren't heard. Like if only people would go to those online communities and read about those ambitions, like they will like kind of like correct the concept that they have in mind, if that makes sense, which is kind of like, again, like I will go back to the topic, the part of me starting my online business, like starting my business but online. Like I don't have to go and meet people and get judged. Like I do what I want to do because this is my business, I built it for myself. So that's why like I always think about ways on how I can make this kind of like a reality for them too. So just like a little teaser here and there, I am thinking about kind of like creating a course on how to start an online business. So like I'll make it a reality for them too, especially as I've mentioned, like here in Morocco, like there are so many unemployed girls here who are really ambitious. They like they are disciplined. Like they, like you can see from the way they talk, from the way they share their struggle and what they want to do, and the major they kind of like they picked, like you know that they had big visions but they couldn't kind of like achieve them because of um the outside world, which
Mm.
is super kind of like, again, like super sad.
Uh, you think do you think some of these women they get they get discouraged for pursuing their dreams because they might be seen as competing with men? Do you think that's the
Hmm. Yes, definitely. Like I feel like that because as I've mentioned, like women tend to be more kind of like persuasive, and they like if they picked something, they will do everything they can to make it work. So like they will kind of like be more um kind of like they do their work with passion.
Mm,
Like they will kind of like they will always say like this, like women are like love to kind of like get their job done right. Like they will do anything and go beyond to make something done. And I don't know if that's in the female nature because they want to get approval. They are like sometimes they tend to be people pleasing, but whatever like the reasons why, like I've seen, like it just like even in like school, like we always hear like this girl female is the first top, like the top students in her class. Like we always kind of like know girls that like study better than boys. We
mm,
know girls get hired first, but because like the kind of like the society is kind of like men oriented, they will do anything to kind of like discourage them. So that's why like I've talked about like lower rates, or like they are kind of like paying them lower so they can kind of like disappoint them and give more space to men,
mm. And
which is pretty
you're gone.
yeah, I would just like it's pretty kind of like sad to think about it.
I've seen this attitude being expressed by several practicing Muslims. They demonized or looked down upon women who wanted to pursue a higher education or make money. In Islam, however, nowhere does it say that a woman becomes less practicing, pious, or valuable if she wants to earn or increase her knowledge. It's not haram for a woman to get an education or start her business, become a doctor or a teacher, etc. Yeah, I really don't. I don't really understand such people, honestly. Them behaving this way towards women who may want to do things a bit differently, it gives other people the wrong image of Islam.
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely true. Uh, like sometimes, like those women are suppressed by people in their family and in their society, not society, like in their community or environment, even before they are kind of like, even before they go to the outside world and kind of like get a job or something. Like sometimes, like they're and I emphasis on sometimes, like not all people, not all the men, but like just like from kind of like some stories I've heard, like there are kind of like usually suppressed by their fathers, their brothers, their husbands if they are married, and like they always kind of like give them, no, you should focus on your house, you should focus on raising your kids right, you should focus on attending to your husband. And maybe there could be a reason, or it could be kind of like reasonable to not wanting a woman to work in a specific industry because you want to protect her, you want to kind of like make sure that she is safe. But like at the same time, like everyone should be kind of like should keep an open mind,
Yeah.
like hear the women, like women should have a voice that should be heard, again like by her family, so they are supporting her. Like if she go outside and I kind of like got a job and la qadar Allah, like she's bullied or something like that, she should at least know that she has a support system in her house. Like she should know that she should kind of like have someone to protect her and kind of like remember her, remind her of her value. But like sometimes like people won't, like women won't have that, so they will just like be kind of like believe that they should really not get a job
Mm.
because like no one kind of like make them believe otherwise.
If she's married,
And
I understand where they're coming from, because raising a household is not easy, and raising children is something that's very difficult, and it takes a lot of patience, right? So from that angle, I understand why the husband or other people wouldn't want the woman to go outside and work. I understand that, but what if she's single?
yeah.
Then,
Yeah, yeah, so like as I mentioned, like sometimes it will come from a parent, like either her father, mother, or even like her siblings. Like they will just like just like tell her, no, you should sit so your brother get a job, so you will not compete with them in the industry, especially if it is like there is really a competitive market out there.
mm,
Like they will always kind of like let the girl, like tell the girl to kind of like quit, or like quit her dreams, so her brother or sibling will get a higher chance at getting hired. So like even like it doesn't have to be her husband, like even her parents will kind of like um put that idea in her mind, like she should just like, it's like it is normal for a girl to give up on her dreams, so they will always talk her down and make sure that she doesn't kind of like
I
do
can't.
something that it is not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go on, go on.
no, it just like yeah, just go ahead.
Okay, I just want to say that I can't help but think the fact that we're talking about this, and if some people do come across this episode, I don't think they're going to like what we're talking about, you know.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, it is unfiltered.
Yeah, but we're being very real. Like, we just
Yeah.
want these people to know that we're human beings as well. We have goals, we have our personal interests, and yeah, we want to be heard and to be respected, basically.
True.
Shutting us down and just putting us to the side, that's not right.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Like this is kind of like it was just like flowing because as I've mentioned, like I've seen it a lot and in the online community, like it is so sad that it's became normal for
Yeah.
women to not have a goal, to just like sit down and just like focus on basic things because she's not allowed to dream big and be successful. Yeah, so yeah, this is definitely real. The things that are put out there and that things that are kind of like trending, like they are again, like they are unfiltered, like an idea, could it be real, like right or wrong, like it will spread regardlessly. So like if a woman is not again like disciplined and not is not persistent on her goal, like on what she wants to do in her life, like those things would really get into her head,
Mm,
which is like again like something that we don't want to know, we don't want to happen because she's already going through a lot.
mm,
So yeah, the online space, like I feel like it was created at the beginning to kind of like escape from the real world. So like it should be a positive space, like a space that it's not judging, like it is kind of like a space that is motivating people, that is making people believe that everything is possible, even though it's not in the real world. Like if you know what I mean, like um I don't know, like people like are using the online word to spread what they want to say and making their points make sense. I don't know, like if I am make sense, but I don't know, like the online space has been um I don't know.
yeah,
um,
it's like a
I
double
lost words.
it's like a double-edged sword. It has its pros and it has its cons.
True. Yes, definitely.
Okay, Sana, thank you for joining
Yeah.
me today. I
Yeah.
had a very wonderful conversation with you, and I
Mm.
hope the rest of your day goes well. Take care and bye bye. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah, dear. Thank you so much.